Well, I know some of you are going to kill me for what I'm about to do, but let me explain. We're getting ready to move into our new home, so we're at a temporary location where we just don't have as much space as we're used to. And we've got all of these plants growing, especially all of our vegetable crops, which are my #1 priority. And right now, we just don't have the room for the succulents that we used to. So in today's video, I'm going to be burying them beneath the soil and adding them to a compost pile to see what happens to them over the next few months. I'm going to be documenting this to show you guys just how fast these break down under the soil and if they're even a viable option for some sort of a compost. Be aware that 80% of these succulents have been propagated and grown by myself anyways, so most of these plants are not brand new plants that I've just bought from the nursery. And also, in today's current situation, nobody wants to go out and buy these succulents from me. Trust me, that was a choice. I did post them to a couple of different marketplaces and nobody bought because they just don't want to go out to get these things. So I was left with this only option, and I figured it would be a great opportunity to maybe run an experiment just to see how these plants react when buried under the soil. So let me show you just what we've got them in and the process that we're going to take to see how they break down over time. So just in this container here, we've got a ton of succulents, almost all of the succulents that I was growing except for the near perfect condition ones. And these are going to be buried in the soil in this container. I'm going to add about a gallon or 2 gallons of water just to kind of moisten up the soil a little bit. And then they will be breaking down in this container for a little bit. And after that, I will make another video with you guys. I'll probably wait about a month or 2 months and see how they've progressed in this soil. And then from that point, I will put them into a bed out in the garden here where they'll be exposed to worms. I might even get some red wigglers and put them in this container itself just to help the breakdown process and the composition of these succulents. But right now, I'm just going to stir these into the soil here so they can start composting and breaking down a little bit. I will cover this up so it heats up. That way that aids in the composition process. You do want heat. Heat is definitely beneficial to the entire process if you can add that in to your compost bin. That's one of the main factors that helps break it down, besides all of the microbes and worms. So in a container like this, a little bit of heat and moisture is definitely going to help out until we add in some worms. We're just going to turn it around real nice here. Level out the top. I wouldn't be surprised if some of these succulents start to grow through the soil, as leaf propagations is a common way to propagate these. So we might get a bunch of them growing back in the soil. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what happens to these, because as far as I know, nobody's ever done this before. But because succulents grow so quickly and easily, I think it actually might be a possible option for compost medium in the future to just add a ton of mass in the compost. I could propagate out a ton of succulents and then throw them into a compost bin to feed worms and stuff like that. So it's just, this is really a big experiment for you guys. So I'm really excited to see exactly what happens with all of these succulents here. Again, please don't kill me. For all I know, we might end up with our very own brand of succulent-based compost. This is going to be a really fun experiment, and like I said, it's something that's never been done before. I'm sure some people in places where succulents grow outdoors do end up turning succulents into their compost, but for the most part, I haven't been able to find a single video on people doing this. So I hope you guys stay tuned to see the progress and see just how these succulents break down, so we can get a grasp of their viability for a compost for when we're taking cuttings and pruning up our succulents for our indoor gardens. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Once I get a video uploaded, On the next step of this process, I will be putting links in the description down below. Again, it's going to be a couple of months. Right now, we're in the first week of April 2020. It's going to be a couple of months till that next video comes out. So please stay tuned and stick around for that. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I wish you all a happy gardening adventure. We'll see you in the next video.